what I'd like to do is, I know there's a lot of concern about where our taxes have been going and how they've been increasing. I put together a presentation. I'm sorry it's not big enough, but our Democratic budget's kind of limited, so I couldn't make it any bigger. So, but what I decided to do is, I guess because I have an analytical background, I like looking at data to see where things are going, because I think for you to solve a problem, you have to understand it. So what I started to do is I looked at tax data, and I went back to before my opponent started his term in 2006. And I took the average assessed home and looked at how much property taxes have gone up. And if you see, that had a pretty steady increase over the last 6 years. So I'm looking at this going, well, you know, there are many different factors. You have county taxes, you have school taxes, and you have your municipal tax. So I decided to take a look at it and break it down. Well, the reason we have this steady increase is because of our municipal tax increase, the part that the Township Committee is responsible for. For the average assessed home, your municipal taxes have gone up 116%. Repeat that, 116%. While your school has gone up 10%, your county has gone up 19%. And that's also the largest amount as well. Okay, so it's gone up 116% high in percentage, high in amount. So that's the part that they can sit there and talk about the school and the county. But this is the part that as a Township Committee member, you are responsible for. It's not erroneous to present this. You sit up there, you're responsible for it. Secondly, I decided to take a look at how much have the residents been paying in their taxes. So I took each budget from 2005 to 2011, and I took a look at how much have residents paid in taxes, total amount residents have paid in taxes to support the budget. In 2005, before my opponent took his term in office, the total amount of residential tax paid was $3.3 million. In 2011, based on this year's budget, residents are now paying $7.5 million. That's more than double the amount. The other scary part is, in 2005, residents supported 15% of the budget. We now support 29% of the budget. So each year, you're reaching deeper and deeper in your pockets to support this budget. Now, this is the part that really got me angry. You all know that we get municipal state aid. Every township in New Jersey, municipality gets municipal state aid. Well, here's some facts about our municipal state aid. We get the highest amount in Ocean County. Out of 33 municipalities, we get the highest amount of municipal state aid. If you take Toms River and Stafford together, they don't get as much municipal aid as we get. I could take 25 municipalities in Ocean County, add them together. They don't get as much state aid as we get here in Lacey. Other fact, out of all the municipalities, out of 566 municipalities, we are the 17th highest. 17th highest. Where is the money going? So when I hear the township complaining about, oh, every town is suffering, do you know how much Brick would have liked a couple more $1 million? You know, they get $5 million with a $90 million budget. We get $11 million for a $26 million budget. And that's the other part. 44% of our state aid, 44% supports our budget. The average for every other municipality is 10%. Brick and Toms River have budgets that are about 3.5 times our budget. Their state aid supports 9% of their budget. 9%. We have 44% that supports our budget. I just shake my head. And here's the other part. I looked at the data and I said, well, who gets more state aid? Who has a higher percentage of state aid than us? Who gets more than 40? Who uses more than 44%? I found 9 municipalities. 9 out of 566. Out of those 9, 6 of them, you know what the municipal tax rate is? 0. 0. The other 3, close to 0. So why is our municipal tax rate so high when we get 44% of the budget? Think about that. Highest amount of state aid in Ocean County, 17th highest in the state of New Jersey, 44% of our budget, and our taxes keep going up and up and up. It makes you wonder. Why? Why? Well, it's the budgeting strategy, I believe. This is the budgeting strategy of the majority party for the last several years. This is what we do, especially this year. You can look at it this year. First, we're going to balance our budget. We'll deplete our surplus. That's what we'll do. We'll deplete the surplus. So let's take $2.5 million out of our surplus, leave us with $110,000, and that'll balance the budget. We use financial budgeting gimmicks, like deferring school tax. Now, it's It's an allowable thing to do, but if you read about towns that defer the school tax, the reason they do it is to keep your taxes low, not to raise your taxes. Okay, so we use financial budgeting gimmicks like deferring school tax, $1.5 million, but we still raise the taxes. We raise taxes $1 million more than we did last year. So we deplete surplus, we use financial budgeting gimmicks, we raise your taxes. What happens next year? What's going to happen next year and the year after that? We keep using these short-term fixes and there's no long-term plan. The other thing, the reason we had to put $4.8 million in to balance the budget, because we had a $2.5 million loss in revenues. What was the loss in revenues? One-time things, fund transfers. The majority of that revenue loss was due to fund transfer. It's not even real revenues. We had no real revenues. We transferred funds from one fund to another and called that a revenue source, and therefore it's not there for the following year. So we're going to have the same problems next year if we don't have some plans. And let me say something. I don't have all the answers, and I try to seek answers from other people. I spoke to people that have financial expertise, both in the Republican Party and Democrats, and they said the same thing to me. What the hell is this town doing? That's basically what they said to me. What the heck are we doing? And it's a shame. There's no plan for the future. I don't have all the answers. I'm not going to say to you I have all the answers, but I know when things are wrong. And this is wrong. This is not working. What we're doing is we're mortgaging the future of this township. It's plain and simple.